What's up, y'all? And welcome back to the Warsheep Podcast. Listen, today we're going to be going over a certain particular topic. Honestly, Black MAGAs is actually raiding a lot of these HBCUs, okay? Honestly, tell you the truth, we're going to bring some truth in regards to that. We're going to shed some light on it because here at the Warsheep Podcast, we believe in shedding light because light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience, and that patience will create unity. So let's get unified in the spirit, y'all.
Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore. If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop him. Do whatever you have to do to stop him. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
All right, y'all. So listen, my thing is this, right? Is that when it comes to the MAGA or when it comes to Black conservatism, right? We have certain individuals out here who actually are active members in the Black conservative movement. We have Candace Owens. We have the one officer that everybody talks about. You know what I mean? We have certain individuals who are part or who are so-called Black, right, or melanated individuals who are part of conservative movement. Now, my thing is this, right? They're saying that MAGA, they're supporting are in support of MAGA, and they're actually trying to infiltrate the HBCUs. Well, I can definitely say that Candace Owens has changed her stance on MAGA. I don't know if she's actually in support of MAGA totally and completely, but I believe that she has pulled her support from MAGA altogether. I believe that she's actually spoken against MAGA. So it's interesting to relate her or associate her to the MAGA group because she's been speaking against MAGA actively based on Trump's presidency and the things that he has not been able to fulfill, as well as the MAGA group actually not holding them accountable. So if I'm not mistaken, Candace Owens has changed her position on MAGA. But my thing is this, right? We're going to dive deep into what makes this group what it is. It's called Blex, I believe, Blexin or XIT, something like that. And I believe that the head, the founder and co-founder of this particular company or institution is going to be Candace Owens. She's one of the co-founders here. Okay. And this is a group of people who are going out speaking in public, doing public speaking and interviews in public, and trying to engage people's perspective, right? Challenging their perspective on the Black conservative movement, right? And why wouldn't they agree, even though they may be, a lot of Black people are default Democratic Party, right? Just based on how they've been raised, based on how they've been trained. I know me growing up in a Black home, right, or a so-called Black home or melanated home, Democrats were the ones who cared morally about Black people, and of course, rather than the Republicans who did not care about Black people at all. That's just literally what it was, right? That's what was taught. That was passed down from one generation to the next, and you got to understand that. I believe Ronald Reagan was one of the ones who said that he would be having these N-words voting Democrat for the next 20, 30 years plus, right? And I believe it was done based on actual influence, okay? Influence from the U.S. government. I believe that we've been psyoped into believing that the Democratic Party is always on and for the Black community, when truly it's not. It's never been. It's always labeled the Black community, men within the Black community, as apex predators. The ones who would be first in line to vote into being sure that they remove the fathers from the home, it would be the Democratic Party. Anybody who's into the Democratic Party would vote to remove fathers from the home. Any issues that we've had, the war on drugs, anything like that, targeting the Black men in the Black community, guess what? The Democratic Party would be the main ones to push it. So a lot of us have already been lied to, have been psyoped, and have also been programmed, okay, to believe that the Democratic Party actually care for us, but when truly nothing ever gets better for the community whenever a Democrat's in office. Nothing ever gets better. Nothing really ever gets done for the community And that's just what it is. It's always been this way, right? Now, of course, the Republican Party has a mindset of course, take care of big business first. Once you take care of business, it will actually give you an opportunity for more jobs. More businesses will want to stay here in the United States and not go overseas to avoid any extra taxation and things like that, which would affect the community, the melanated or Black community, by providing more opportunities or job opportunities for them to accomplish to go and get, right. It'll provide more job opportunities. Whereas where the Democratic Party believes if they tax the businesses more, that will funnel and trickle down into the middle class, and literally the lower class, honestly, usually is got left to fend for themselves, right? But it never works out that way. Many of these businesses, they pick up and they go overseas and they take off, they go somewhere else because of the simple fact that this high taxation is something that they cannot handle or deal with, and it's something that may hurt or harm their bottom dollar. What we need to do is do things to be sure that we maintain American business, American jobs, and employing Americans here in this country, right? And as well as, of course, the community, melanated community, is also an important thing to do as well. But let's take a listen as to what they had to say in regards to this. I want you guys to really hear what this movement is all about. I believe it's called the Blix movement, right? Or Blix company, whatnot. I want you guys to hear what they are all about, and I want you to form your own opinions as to who they are and what they stand for, and whether you agree or can align yourselves with those individuals. And then we're going to hear what the other side has to say as well. All right. Do a compare and contrast. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's listen in.
About the fact that Trump's Supreme Court nominees said that Roe versus Wade was settled law. That's the abortion.
And nowhere in our Constitution does it say the right to abortion exists.
You know what? I hope you don't get pregnant and don't want the child.
Well, I'm married. I'm married. Are you married?
Yeah. So this is Savannah Kav, I believe is her name. She's been getting a lot of publicity on the ground. She's been getting a lot of airtime. Honestly, she's been getting pushed pretty heavy. And honestly, it's starting up a lot of different controversy for individuals that are on the far left, because, of course, they're going to disagree with the position of abortion and it not being a good practice, right? They're going to disagree with that. You know what I mean? So she's been getting a lot of backlash, and I've been seeing her a lot circulating throughout my algorithm. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue to hear what she has to say and what questions she's asking and being asked. Let's go.
You could still not want the child. I was married, and it happened to me, and I wasn't ready to have a child.
I will always want a child because a child is a blessing.
Let's go.
Do you have a child?
Excuse me. That has nothing to do with it.
Is your child a blessing?
Or nothing to do with it. I got pregnant at a time when it wasn't a good idea for me to have a child.
Is that your baby's fault, or is that your fault?
Thankfully, I was on birth control. The birth control failed.
Yeah, well, that happens a lot of the time. It's not 100%.
Just so you know, thankfully, I had an illegal abortion, excuse me, and I'm very grateful that I did.
That makes sense why you're not married anymore, because if you are a wife and you literally murder your child when you're in a marriage, I don't know what to say to you. On April 3rd, 2025, I, Savannah Craven Entau, was brutally assaulted in the streets of Harlem while conducting interviews on Planned Parenthood. The entire shocking interaction was caught on camera by my husband, leaving no doubt that...
Wow. I mean, there's literally no reason, no point of this. Honestly, tell you the truth, I believe that she was discussing abortion and how her position is, how she feels like it should remain illegal, or, it should not be a thing at all. Aborting or, murdering children or whatever it may be, it shouldn't be a thing. As to where the other individual who struck her believes something different, believes in something opposite. So, excuse me, y'all. So that was no reason for her to have struck her or done anything to harm her just because she has different points of view. You got to understand, some people are extremely childish. Just because they disagree with you, they'll lash out, they'll act They'll do certain things, right? And just because they disagree with something that you done or something that you said or a position that you hold, they disagree. They're not mature enough to actually have a real conversation to sort out the problem, sort out the conflict, and actually come to a peaceful resolution. They'll prefer to just lash out like this woman has lashed out also. And a lot of these people are far left. A lot of these people are far left, as well as men, right? A lot of these men who are far left and on that side, right? And care about this, that, and the third is just so these men are simps, and they're always very pandering and catering to women. You know, understand what I'm saying? And they'll bend, they'll morph, they'll, go to bat for women. You know what I mean? And this is just kind of what it is, whether they be right or whether they be wrong. It doesn't really matter to them. They're just going to go to war regardless, right? For a woman or whatever, put their neck on the line for a woman. So this is kind of what they're used to doing. These simp, POS men. You get what I'm saying? Let's continue.
Assaulted in the streets of Harlem while conducting interviews on Planned Parenthood. The entire shocking interaction was caught on camera by my husband, leaving no doubt that the assailant, Breonna J. Rivers, was not only guilty of aggravated assault, but
she
also
looked like a hood booger too.
Over her own vision.
Look at her with the bonnet on. She looked like a little hood booger. You know what I'm saying? Just a little hood booger. You feel me? Just a little hood booger, a little niglet. Little bonnet wearing niglet. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy how you can just go and assault somebody. I mean, she's from the Bronx. I guess that's what they do. It just is what it is. But man, this is crazy. Let's continue.
This criminal act. Rivers was arrested and reportedly charged with felony assault. But after an interview with 2 prosecutors, I was informed that the felony had been downgraded to a misdemeanor. Despite indisputable video evidence of brutal assault and battery, producing significant injury, trauma, and resulting in over $3,000 in medical bills. Over the next few weeks, the office of the New York District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, infamous for its 2 trials over victims, failed to pursue the case. On July 23, 2025, I find out the prosecution simply allowed this misdemeanor to be dismissed on speedy trial grounds. Apparently, due to the prosecution's failure to file a certificate of readiness. I was never advised by the prosecution that my case had essentially been abandoned. As a matter of fact, the prosecutor assigned to handle my case isn't even admitted to the New York bar, just an inexperienced law school graduate. Yet he was able to handle my case under a student practice rule, which is supposed to apply to only very minor offenses. Prior to the dismissal, the prosecutors failed to communicate with me and with my lawyers, and the failure to communicate continued after my lawyers intervened on my behalf to try and find out how this case could be dismissed. To this day, my lawyers and I have received zero reply, despite multiple text messages, emails, and phone calls. It is inconceivable that a violent assault case such as this, one that received widespread media attention, including that shocking video, would be put into the hands of somebody not even admitted to the New York bar, who then allowed for the case to be dismissed. It is hard to avoid the conclusion that this case was deliberately sabotaged. To this day, my assailant, Breonna J. Rivers, continues to show zero remorse and make jokes about her act of violence toward me and other pro-lifers. I do not want clicks, fame, or sympathy for what happened to me. I want justice for the countless pro-life and conservative activists that go out and peacefully stand up for what they believe in. And justice for the thousands of preborn children who will be aborted today, tomorrow, and the next. No one on either side of the aisle should experience physical violence for using their First Amendment right. Shame on you, Alvin Bragg. Do you think that you have anything in common with a Black conservative?
No, ma'am.
Do you believe in school choice? Do you believe that Black Americans should have the choice to where they want to go to school or send their kids?
Yes.
What about criminal justice reform?
Yes.
Capitalism and entrepreneurship, do you align with that?
I would align with a capitalist view, yeah.
What about accurate portrayal of Black history?
Yeah.
That was everything that a Black conservative would align with. Do you feel like you can safely speak your mind in America right now?
In America, no. It's getting to a point now where it's like debates can't even happen.
Look at this dude, man. Look at this cat, man. Look at this dude. What is in the hell is going on here, man? What in the hell is going on? Like, why? Why? This is definitely a spirit here. When they talk about an infeminine spirit, this is what they mean. This is what it is. This is an infeminine spirit. You understand what I'm saying? If you claim to be on tour with Prince, guess what you've done? You've been on tour with an infeminine spirit. He has an infeminine spirit on him. If you want to brag about going on tour with Prince, yes, he has an infeminine spirit on him. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like for all of you who are confused as to what that looks like. But wow, yeah. And then you have an issue with somebody and their viewpoints. But if somebody were to come up to you right now because of the way you're dressed, the way you look, and they were to take you and they were to hang you by your neck just because of the simple fact you look like this and you dress like this, and they were to persecute you, right, openly because of it, then you would want people to protest. You will want people to be up in arms. You want people to be irate and upset and fight for you and things like that. But you're talking down on a man who just was recently assassinated for believing in something and standing on his beliefs, which is Charlie Kirk. Let's continue, y'all. This is ridiculous.
Because people who align with like certain mindsets, conversations can't even like happen in the way that they used to be productive and constructive.
I think it's like mostly right-wing people have that problem.
Everything is subjective. There's always exceptions to everything. But I've seen more examples of people who are in support of people like Trump or Charlie Kirk or anything like that are just so rigid in the way that they think.
Yeah, well, speaking about Charlie Kirk, he was brutally murdered because he was speaking his mind. Do you think that was justified?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
We should be able to kill people if we don't agree with them.
Whatever. It's like, fuck around and find out.
If we're going to go on that logic, right, that if you fuck around, find out, what if you say something one day and somebody doesn't agree with what you have to say and they think it's okay to kill you for it? I mean, you're an art school student. This is literally what you're studying, right? Freedom of expression.
Yeah.
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 So what makes your right to speak different than somebody else's?
It's not different.
Okay.
Everything has consequences.
I think
Political assassinations are a thing,
I mean, we can also condemn them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
We could.
I'm glad that he died
Okay.
because he don't give a fuck about me.
Does he know you personally?
I just like to see when people of power that do bad things to people in community, I like to see them get their justice.
You think he should have been murdered because he disagrees with you, basically?
I don't think he should have been murdered.
Not
I'm
mad
not
that he
mad
was.
that he was
Okay.
because like when they kill
Let's take a look at, you got these soy boys, okay, who are moving and acting. Look at this chick. Look at her face in the back. Like, oh, hell, dog. Who are moving and acting like women. This is an feminine spirit, man. These soy boys who don't seem to understand or get the concept that, listen, you for dressing and behaving the way that you behave, bending your wrists and doing all this extra stuff. Listen, you yourself can be executed, could be dealt with on a certain level that you wouldn't appreciate, but you are backing and supporting somebody doing something to somebody else, right? And causing harm to them because they have certain viewpoints, they have certain beliefs, and it might not align with yours. Well, I don't believe that you yourself should be behaving the way that you behave. I don't believe that you should keep the beliefs you believe. Is it okay for me to, physically harm you because I don't agree with what you're doing and how you're moving and how you're acting and behaving and what spirit you're under, this infeminine spirit that you're under? Is it okay for me to hurt you physically and just for that reason? I don't believe it would be okay. I don't believe that I would even I would serve jail time just because of that reason. Just for the simple fact that I disagree and I decided to harm you. That lets you know that it's not okay, right? It's not okay for me to behave and act that way with you just because I disagree. But you taking a position to say that somebody else can do it to someone else that you disagree with in their viewpoints, but it can't be done unto you. That's ridiculous. The scripture says, the Bible says that you do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. This is the reason why biblical principles are so important. Let's continue, y'all.
Black people, when they kill trans people, Nobody, they're not protesting.
Oh, did you not remember George Floyd? They burnt down cities. They rioted for 6 months. They're still doing Black Lives Matter events in Yonkers every single Monday.
Don't do media.
Absolutely. Listen, and not to mention, when Charlie Kirk passed away, his visual was gatherings at churches and candlelight visuals. You didn't see a bunch of Caucasian communities being burnt to the ground. You didn't see a bunch of wealthy downtown wealthy establishments being burnt to the ground. You didn't see a bunch of white establishments getting burnt to the ground, or Caucasian establishments getting burnt to the ground. When George Floyd passed away, not to mention that George Floyd was not the most honest individual. Okay, he was not a person who was. He literally passed away from fentanyl overdose because he took too much during the pullover. He was somebody who was buying from a dealer. He swallowed all of that. He took all of that, and then he was having some complications, some issues from a drug overdose. The officer didn't actually even kneel on his neck. He kneeled on his upper back, right? And not to say that it's something that was okay to do, because it was not okay to do, but it's just to say that the misinformation is crazy, and the way that people were persecuted just based on having to find somebody to lynch for the situation because the people demanded it, and they were burning down their own cities, their own businesses, Black-owned businesses, the melanated-owned businesses. They burning down their own community in regards to the individual who was not a saint by any stretch of imagination, right? Where, and he was not a productive adult in society, right? Was not a model member, was not a community leader. Didn't die because he was fighting for a community cause. He passed away because it was a drug overdose. Okay. And my thing is, we burnt our own cities to the ground, our own Black-owned businesses. We burnt those to the ground. We burnt so many different things to the ground. And the response came to Charlie Kirk. And the response after him being assassinated was candlelight visuals at church houses. No burning of any buildings. No burning down of anything. But yet we have people who are advocating for him, fighting for him still to this day. And we have a lot of suspicious activity surrounding his death. Right? He's literally been memorialized. And the Caucasian communities are still safe and sound. No burning down, no none of that. But for some reason, melanated people, Black people, tend to constantly want to burn down their own communities. It happened in Detroit not quite a while back, and still Detroit is recovering from that situation where they were burning down their own community. They're still trying to recover from it. So many abandoned homes that were burnt down during that time that still are vacant, that still are just sitting there vacant and desolate and docile. They're still trying to recover to this day. I'm just saying, though, this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? But people need to educate themselves. Let's continue.
Coverage about it. He was literally with people from Trump. They don't like people who exist.
What did Charlie say that says he doesn't like people like you?
Honestly, I don't know, but that's just what I've heard.
You started this interview saying, "I'm happy that he died." Can you look me in the face and say that you'd be happy if I died? Because I agreed with about 99% of what Charlie agreed with. Can you look me in the face and say that?
I wouldn't be.
So how could you say that about Charlie?
Because it's the internet and I don't know him and people make memes and it's funny.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
Because that's actually, and that's the reason why people like Charlie and people like Savannah and I are doing these types of videos, and we get a lot of shit for it, we get a lot of hate. But because we are literally, in a way, I guess, forcing people to rehumanize us, to rehumanize people like you. Because 5 minutes ago, you were all rah, 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 fuck Charlie. And now you're like, wait a second, like, that's actually not a good idea.
I have embroidered "Be True" because that's what it is about. You know, that's what being trans is about to me.
You love the truth, right?
Yeah.
The reality.
And I'm living my reality. You know, we don't live in a single reality anymore.
What year did we start living in multiple realities?
2020, to be obvious, but like...
I would agree.
With what happened with January 6th and whatever, you know, and the anti-vaxxers.
Is that why you wear the mask is because of COVID?
Yeah, look, it's still out there. It's still harming people. Yeah.
Just look at these soy boys. This is crazy. These soy boys, demasculated, effeminate men who still are wearing face masks, talking about, yeah, COVID is still out there. Not even paying attention to when they've said that, hey, brother, you've been lied to. You've been lied to. No, not even paying attention. Knock, knock. Wake up. You've been lied to. They've come out publicly and stated this on live TV. They come out publicly and stated this on national TV that you've been lied to. Same thing. Mark Zuckerberg came out and said live, literally, and said that they lied to you and that they were censoring individuals who were telling the truth. They were censoring them. And it wasn't that they were doing disinformation, misinformation, but they were censoring them for telling the truth. You've been lied to. Take the mask off. You understand what I'm telling you? Get your head out of your rear end and actually wake up to reality. Wake up to reality. You've been psyoped. You've been brainwashed. You've been manipulated into believing something that is a lie. Right? Let's continue, y'all.
I don't want to get it.
You got like triple vax though, right?
I was running on my original 2 boosters at the time.
You probably get another one just to be safe.
I got one back last December. Healthcare has been touch and go for me because of how it's nasty. Because of like, you know, needles have been hard for me is also the reason why I wasn't able to start HRT till semi-recently.
Do you think that we should have like demanded the vaccine for like everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. You know.
You also believe in my body, my choice, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
Trolling. She was completely trolling them on this one. And honestly, y'all, it don't get no, listen, more of a slam dunk than that. And my thing is that, you know, it is a good thing. And it is a great thing that there is a company or corporation that's willing to move into these HBCUs and challenge the narrative, just as you've seen just now. Challenge the thoughts, challenge the narrative, challenge their perspective on reality. You understand what I'm saying? Challenge them, right? My thing is that, of course, no matter what type of good you're trying to do, there's always individuals who are going to see the negative in all the positive. They're always going to have something bad to say. It doesn't matter if you have never had an ill intention to be able to help individuals, with their healing process, to being able to be healed. There's no problem until you really start to reach a level of success where you're being effective in what you're doing. And these individuals will turn their back on you in a heartbeat, and they'll still have something very negative to say about what your accomplishments are. Let's go ahead and take a look at what some individuals may say out here. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into this video real quick and take a listen as to what the position they hold. Let's go.
At the end of September, a guy by the name of Cam Higby and his crew called Fearless Debates ended up on the campus of Tennessee State University. Now, they were there unannounced. Now, many people didn't care about that because it was a scene, it was a fiasco, and they kind of got ran up out of there. But what most blacks who saw it, at least on the right, were out here kissing saying this.
A lot of people might be afraid to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it for you. The way those Tennessee State University students, those black students, ran off those 2 white conservatives in MAGA hats who set up a table and were there to ask questions is honestly the prime example of why many individuals who are not in our community do not want to associate with many of us anymore in the future. And honestly, with justifiable reason, given the comportment of those individuals in that video.
I hate to call a brother a sellout, but this is exactly what this guy is. He's a kisser for the white right. Everybody knows that these guys showed up unannounced. You cannot come to a school unannounced and just do a pop-up shop and start having debates. All right. But now they are not sending whites anymore. Whites understand it's a hostile environment. So what is the turning?
Well, you also can't just force people out of a certain position either. Like you gotta at least hear them out. Make sure my mic on. Gut. Okay, so you gotta at least be able to hear them out, give them an opportunity to speak, or allow the proper authorities to handle the situation. You can't just run them out. You can't just try to force them out. Things like that either. So, I don't believe he's a sellout. I believe he's just speaking his mind and giving his opinion on the situation. I mean, this is a free country. Freedom of press is one of the freedoms that we do hold. Um, as long as they're not trespassing on any property, they're totally fine with popping up, setting up shop, and asking any questions they would like in public space, in public forum, and public format. They're totally fine, lawfully and legally. That can be able to do so. Let's continue.
Point USA's new plan here.
Now, I want to say this, right? Because O'Shea Duke Jackson is who is actually the creator of this content in this video. So let me give you the plug. He's got some great content. Some viewpoints we may not align with, and that's totally fine. I don't mind disagreements. I don't mind disagreeing on viewpoints. But what I do mind is if you were to take a childish position and start to act like a child, then that's what I do mind. But a disagreement, I don't mind you disagreeing with how I feel and where my position is. Maybe you got a better position. You can offer me up a better perspective, something that I've never thought of before. I'm very open-minded in that way, but he has some great content. You guys should definitely go and subscribe. He's definitely got a really nice following. O'Shea Duke Jackson does a great job with his content. Regardless on me disagreeing with certain positions that he may hold, I still agree majority of the content he puts out, I thoroughly enjoy. Let's continue though, including this video.
HBCU, listen to me and listen to me good. The Black MAGA Trumpers are trying to visit HBCU campuses, stir up strife, cause problems, and go viral and get clicks. Tell your children, do not engage, do not engage, do not engage. Ignore them. Go to class and walk away in the other direction. And they're also trying to go to HBCU campuses during the homecoming weekend, where they know there will be people and they will go viral. Take a look. The Blexit student movement is headed to an HBCU near you.
So it is a Blexit movement, okay? Blexit, right? So they're trying to awaken the Black consciousness, right? Melanated consciousness as to what they believe and viewpoints, and challenging their viewpoints on what they believe as far as socially and economically, in politics, politically. So I don't knock it. I don't think there's nothing wrong with challenging somebody's perspective. Honestly, the Warsheep Podcast, we all for people vocalizing their opinions and their viewpoints and things like that. Of course, there's limitations to it, but we still definitely support individuals, especially, vocalizing their perspective. Okay. But let's continue.
Featuring Craig Long, Savannah Craven, Stephen Davis, Topher, and Anthony Watson. Avoid these people. Ignore them. Do not engage. Do not debate. Don't boo them. Don't acknowledge. Get campus security, campus authorities, and proceed to class. They are only there to go viral. They've already visited a few HBCUs, and they're headed to Jackson State, Tennessee State, FAMU, North Carolina Central, Howard, Hampton, Bowie State, and Lincoln during homecoming, where they know there'll be a big audience and they can go viral. So again, if you have a child at any of those HBCUs, let them know the Black MAGA Trumpers, known as Blexit, are on their way to their campuses.
I would doubt that they are Black MAGA Trumpers. I honestly tell you the truth. Blexit, like I said, Candace Owens has disagreed with Trump and also the MAGA movement. So I disagree with her calling the Black MAGA Trumpers, because I believe that right there would trigger more melanated folks into acting the way that she would want them to. They would influence them to do it. And honestly, it's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Do not engage, do not engage, do not engage. Do not engage.
So this sister is concerned because they're not sending whites anymore. They're sending blacks. And this is what the left does. It's what the right does. They can't come directly to you. And so when they realize that, they will send paid agents to infiltrate your community that look like you. Okay? And they're going to send these quote unquote Black conservatives into these HBCUs. Some of these dates will be on homecoming. Now, this time, what we see here is they've gotten the permission from the schools, which is 100% better. But it's still something that's down bad.
These black conservatives, aka Black MAGA. Now, for those of you that don't know what Blexit is,
Nah, I don't think it's down bad. I think it's definitely something to challenge the perspective, and that's what it really is. Let's go.
Blexit is an organization founded by Candace Owens and former Tucson, Arizona police officer Brandon Tatum.
So yeah, Brandon Tatum, I don't follow his work as much. I don't know his viewpoints, so I can't disagree with what he's doing. I just don't follow his work. I just really don't. But it's cool, because I do support Candace Owens and her work. I believe that she does a great job with a lot of different things. Plus, she's a strong Black woman out here holding her own. I don't care if she's in a biracial relationship or not. She's still a melanated woman who deserves the same level of defense and protection as any other woman who's in the position that she's in, honestly, literally. But I'm proud of what she's been able to accomplish as a melanated woman. I'm proud of what she's been able to accomplish, and honestly, what she stands for. She may be trying to figure out her way in the religious aspect of things or faith-based, but she's still at least searching, for the love of the Father. But let's continue. That's what I support, above anything. Her position on faith and also her position on being a mother and a woman, really support those positions. Let's continue, though.
Powered by Turning Point. Y'all know who founded that. They're taking a tour called Educate to Liberate to several prominent HBCU campuses throughout the month of October, according to their website. And the mission of the tour is bringing conservative values to life, fostering critical thinking, and sparking powerful conversations on HBCU campuses. But here's the deal. They never partner with any of the Black organizations on campus. I wonder why that is. And I know firsthand on TikTok, Craig Long, and he used to be Topher Town Music.
Well, the reason why they don't partner with any of the Black, they might not hold the same viewpoints. Those organizations may not hold the same viewpoints, the same beliefs. They may not hold the same viewpoints of belief, and they may not have anything available to partner with them. Maybe they don't know anything about these particular organizations. Maybe those organizations haven't reached out to them in order to partner with them. There's numerous different reasons why. They don't just is based on because they are backed or supported by, Next Level, right? Or Charlie Kirk's company. I believe that they're funded and supported by Charlie Kirk's company, right? That don't have to be the sole reason why. It could be just the basic viewpoints and what they stand in, what they believe. I wouldn't back it either if I didn't believe in it. But let's continue.
They're literal cowards and do not debate in good faith. Savannah, that's the one that got popped in the face in New York when she's playing in that girl's face. Oh, yeah, no charges were filed, by the way. They were all dropped in. Shorty good. These two, brand new characters. Oh.
Now, this brother is arguing something that's very important. That, some of these people are like, they're not there for the arguments or the debates. They're there to cause trouble. And so his main point is this.
These individuals are going to try and rage bait you all for views. And then they're going to run and do the same thing that Cam Higbee and the other guy that went on Tennessee State University who tried to pull up on veterans.
Now, we just went over the video, right? And you see that she conducted her interviews in a very appropriate fashion. I don't think she shies away from conflict, though. I think she does engage when people have a disagreement. And I believe that, of course, they're challenging your perspective on important social topics. I mean, I don't believe that they're trying to cause conflict or problems at all. I think that they're really just trying to get down to the bottom of social conflict, right? And being able to shed light on it, because light ain't always easy, right? But also we would have a position to understand one another. You've seen it play out where the brother was like, F Charlie Kirk. And the next thing you know, he's like, well, I didn't think about it like that. Absolutely. I've been seeing whatever I've been seeing on social media, and that's what got me in the position that I'm in now. They just see what they see on social media and they take a side. They pick and choose a side, but they don't ever really think about it from all angles and then come up with something that's a little bit more logical, right? And I believe that that's what this particular movement is trying to do, is challenge the narrative, Challenge the narratives being pushed out there on social media. Challenge the individual's narrative as for what's going on socially, politically, economically, things like that. Challenge the narrative of it. And I promise you, this is what we stand on at the Warsheep Podcast. Is to challenge the narrative, the status quo. What you believe is correct and true and right. I want to challenge you to believing something totally different and out of the box. I want you to be the Neo. I want you to be thinking like Neo in the Matrix. I don't want you to be a part of the Matrix. I don't want you to be thinking like an NPC, kind of like this guy who's thinking like an NPC. I want you to use your autonomy and think like Neo in the Matrix, because it's so important that we wake up as many people as possible so we can warp this system as much as possible. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
In DC,
they are there in bad faith. And I agree with everything. Again, I'm a person.
I disagree.
I'm a registered Republican. I don't care. All right. I was a Democrat until about 2012. And then, as I got older, I kind of got away from some of the left-leaning ideologies, but I am Black first, right? I'm a person that puts the Black community above all political parties. And let me tell you what I don't respect. The fact that Turning Point USA has hired Black conservatives, or you guys are paying Black people to come speak on the behalf for, educating the Black community when the Black community don't own these organizations. Number one, that's like
Turning Point.
Could somebody from
Turning Point USA, of course, is funding Blix, which is, well, listen, it is what it is. They got the backing. It's cool. Let's continue.
The Black community pay for organization and send them into white colleges and think it will work, or to Israel and think it'll work, or to the Asian community and think it will work. Like, you can't be a Black conservative when you don't own your stuff. And again, I'm sorry, I have to say this. I have a problem with.
Now, let me say this, right? Ownership and sponsorship are funding, are being a sister partner. Ownership, I believe Officer Tatum and Candace Owens are co-owners of Blix. Okay. They also do partnerships and get funding from Turning Point USA. It don't mean that Turning Point USA owns Blix. It just means that they are funding Blix, right? To go into these communities, to go into these HBCUs, to back them, right? It's sort of like but of course, Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum, they still co-own that particular business. Okay, so let me correct that, because it's two totally different things from having a partner in it to having ownership over something, right? When you have a partner, the partner could be a silent partner at 1%. You get what I'm saying? No real power or pull to make decisions in the company, but just enough to fund it, to get it funded, to get funding raised for it, right? To open up accounts in the name of that company or corporation on behalf of it, right? To get things going. And not only that, when there's time for movements to be had, right? When it's time for events or any type of motivational speaking events, right? Or whatnot, seminars or webinars, that Blix could be able to be advertised and promoted as a sister company or just as a company that's going to be attending the event. It's a great business decision and business move to have a larger corporation to help you with funding, to help you get started. It just is what it is, honestly. Right? Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
Black conservative influencers who are in interracial relationships trying to teach the Black community to get, pick up yourself from the bootstraps. I'm tired of that. The Officer Tatums, all right? You have this guy, Stephen Knight. All of these dudes are in non-Black relationships. Candace Owens. And they're typically paid by somebody else. It would be different if you're Black conservatives, you're Republicans, and the Black Republicans are funding themselves and you're going to HBCUs. Now we can talk. Okay, fine. The people in the Black community, if they see you in there doing the work, that's fine, but you'll never see.
What disqualifies you, right? If you're in an interracial relationship, you're disqualified from being able to speak on Black or melanated issues in the community. Like, what disqualifies you from it? Because, that don't stop you. I mean, I understand the situation where, like Michael Jackson, right? Once you were melanated, now you're not anymore. Or once you were Black, now you're not. And then it may be in question, like, why are they speaking? But you don't say that about Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. He's famous enough for you to accept him, even though he looks European now, like, or even though he looked European before he passed, right? You're able to still accept him as melanated or black because he was one of the largest pop artists in the world. You get what I'm saying? And you still wanted to hang on to him so tight. You wanted to clinch him because of the simple fact that he was the largest pop artist. If he wasn't that big of a pop artist, you would be like, man, he don't belong to the black community. You don't belong to the melanated community anymore. But what disqualifies you, right, from being able to stand up for black or for melanated injustice in the community? What disqualifies you from it? I believe once you're born into a black family, I don't care who you marry, who you get involved with, you're still going to be black. It's about, are you abandoning your culture, your heritage? Are you neglecting it? Are you not fighting for it to progress or make progress? Those things right there would say that you are a coon, right? Because you went off into the sunset and rode off with a different group of culture, right? You went off with another culture. Now you're a part of this European culture or whatever other culture, and you just completely left your own culture behind and left it in the dust. Now you're looking like a coon, like a Samboon coon, right? That if you're, in an interracial relationship, but you're actively advocating for your own people to either wake up or to do something to progress their community, then I can't say nothing but that you're doing what you can. You're doing your best to I can't disqualify you from being black or melanated. It just don't make sense to me, right? Your actions probably is what disqualifies you, right? Let's continue.
These dudes in the black community, trying to tutor kids or supporting the United College Fund. You're not going to see them. Most of those dudes, I guarantee you, they don't live in black communities or whatever. They in relationships with non-black people, which the brother is saying.
Man, who wants to live in a black community, man? And you're getting all this publicity, and you're getting notoriety, and you're getting more popular. You got some hating people over in the black community. Listen, let's just ask certain individuals who had to suffer certain harm because they chose to still be in the hood while they are famous. You understand what I'm saying? Our people ain't known for being very polite to each other. You get what I'm saying? Until that mindset changes, until that atmosphere changes, I think that it's wise for people to make a wise decision for their own safety and also for their own security where they will want to live, right? And most people, including yourself, right? Whoever else is talking, you're not going to choose to go live in the hood. None of you is. I promise you. The moment you strike it big, Nick, bro, you out and you're in you waving at the white folk. You understand what I'm saying? You're waving at the European folk. You know what I'm saying? In a certain in their neighborhoods, right? And you're out there picking up your Daily Mail or newspaper off the lawn in your robe, in your silk robe. You understand what I'm saying? In your slippers. Enjoying the weather, in the suburban neighborhood. Come on now. Ain't nobody going to choose to go live in the hood. You get what I'm saying? So that's not even a point or argument to make. But let's continue.
And it's arguing in bad faith. You're going to tell black people, what do you have to lose? Well, everything, because you still don't own what you have. And that's the problem with the Republicans that I don't like, okay? And this is why I have so much respect. And I'm going to name the people who I love what they do. African Diaspora Network. Bill Scott. I don't really like Boyce like that, but I got to shout out Boyce. Roland Martin, I don't really care for his political views. But what I love about Roland Martin, black ownership. I can respect that, okay? I can respect what Brother Tariq Nasheed is doing.
I agree.
Out of all of them, he's probably the best. Why? Because he's grassroots all the way. No outside funding, no nothing. Straight Nation of Islam style. Out to Trump. Love it. Okay. I respect that. And those are the people who really get the black grassroots. All right. And then you're probably sitting these blacks there. Oh, okay. They look like you. And then some of these guys may or may not be African American or black American, which is even another slap in the face because they're not even in.
All right. So let me say that I agree with that real quick. And honestly, we're not going to go through the whole video because we're going to wrap it up here. And my thing is this, right? Honestly, I agree with what he's saying of black grassroots. I think that's even more of a plus if you're able and capable of doing it that way, if you don't want to bind yourself to any other group or culture of people, you don't want to have any other backing from any other culture, you just want to go directly for your own culture. Listen, I agree with that and support that 110%. But either way, I hope you guys liked this video, enjoyed this video, man. Listen, let me ask you guys this question. Is black conservatives going to be a new wave? Is that going to be a new wave of consciousness for melanated individuals in this country to start thinking on a more conservative level? I'm very curious about this. Or do we want to fight against this, or do we want to receive it and accept it for what it is? Like he said, O'Shea Jackson said he's a Republican, but he's disagreeing with every position in regards to black conservatives, right? And what they're looking to, what moves they're looking to make, right? Which is totally fine to disagree. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section below. I'm really curious of what you believe and what you think. Also, don't forget to like this video, okay? Comment and subscribe. And don't forget to holler back at your boy. This is your host, Barack from the Warsheep Podcast. We can see you guys in the next one, all right? Peace and shalom, shalom.